Welcome to Damstra Insights, Overview and Menu Navigation. You can access Damstra Insights via Safety, the dashboard icon, Insights. Once logged into Damstra Insights, the library is the landing or home page. The Library tab shows a register of pre-made dashboards containing visuals from the visual gallery. Those visuals include tables, registers, bars and pie graphs, to name a few. There are two user group profiles in Damstra Insights. The standard user, which comes complete with standard dashboards that are supplied for various modules and has viewer access only, like Report Consumer and Business Intelligence. And Creator. Along with the register of pre-made dashboards, creators have the ability to use self-service, such as Import Dashboard, or create their own dashboards from any module within the safety system, like Report Writer and Business Intelligence. From the Library tab, you can view all the dashboards you have access to, your favourites, and you can make dashboards your favourite just by ticking the star button. You can search any dashboard, view any dashboards created by you, or any dashboards shared with you. Dashboards can even be sorted by name, the data source, the author, the modified date, and any actions, such as the actions I could delete a dashboard that I have created. The Sources tab contain all the information from the fields and tabs of your safety system in registers and tables that are used to populate the dashboard libraries. The sources from your own database have already been populated and the work there has been done. You don't have to worry about the Sources tab. The Visual Gallery is a register of graphical reports and data tables. You could search for visuals by type, name, author and usage, and add them to a dashboard from the library or to a dashboard you have created. You can also add a visual from the data sources. I'll use the search bar to search for a visual and open up that visual. Event register by event type. With this visual, if I go over to the left hand side, you'll see we have a visual gallery. And in the visual gallery, we have a visual style, that's the style of the selected visual. Any sorting by event type, by the count or distinct count. Filters that I could add to that visual. The time bar. The time bar for this visual is by event date. I could change that to completed date, investigation date or reported date. The time bar is down the bottom and you'll see that I've gone from July the 1st, 2020 through to July the 22nd, 2022. I can shift the time bar and apply that to my visual. Could click on the end date and choose from the calendar. And apply that. Or down on the left hand side, I could also choose from the calendar. Use a dynamic date, and the dynamic date could be from now minus 2 years and apply that. I could also choose my pre-starts for the current year all the way through to a rolling 7 days, a rolling hour, and apply that. And you'll see that the visual is now reading the time bar for the last 2 years. The next icon in the visual menu is the settings, and from here I could show the labels, the values, and the relative values. If I didn't like the colour of this visual, I'd go to my colour palette and choose different colours. The last icon in the visual menu is the information about this visual. Within this visual there is functionality, such as if I go down to the injury segment of the donut and left click, I could zoom into the injuries and have that by category name. And you'll see that my visual is changing by, instead of event type, it's by category name. Now that I've made my visual, we see that up the top left hand corner is what's called a filter, and the filter applied to this visual is that the event type is injury and the event date is from the time bar down the bottom. If I go back across to the visual library, I can change that to a bar graph. And now that I have my bar graph, over in the menu again, I will use my settings to make that a horizontal bar graph, and I can also sort that by the category name, by the count, ascending 0 to 9. And apply. So now I have my injuries by the category name in a bar graph, and from here I'll remove the legend and I'll rename this visual. So this visual is now called Injuries by Category Last 2 years. Over on the right hand side, I'll save that. Default title will be Injuries by Category Last 2 years, and save that. My visual has been successfully saved. If I go back to my visual gallery, you will see that Injuries by Category Last 2 years was authored by me today, and because I created that visual, I can delete that visual. From here, I'm going to add a visual. Click Add Visual, and my source I want to be from the Observations Register. Select Observations Register and make that into a pie chart. And you'll see that my pie chart is showing no data available. So what I'll do is I'll group that by subject. Then I'll use my time bar, and the end of data set I want to be for the last quarter, and apply that. So now my visual, I will save that as Observations Last Quarter. and save that visual. Now in my visual gallery I have the two visuals that I've created. Heading over to the library, the register of dashboards, I'll go to my favourites and I'm going to open up Safety Events Register just by clicking on the title. From the left we can see that right at the top we have our dashboard filters, and those filters apply to the whole dashboard, where our filters include that all the visuals are within this period from the time bar. I could add a filter, I could also add filters through the full site name, the event type, the event stage, and the event status. So all of this up the top is your filtering. Across the top there are many icons as well. Dashboard interactions, that means you could have cross-link sources or cross-visual filtering. You could link dashboards, export the dashboard as a screenshot, a PDF or a file, refresh the data on the dashboard, favourite or unfavourite, add any visuals, or save that library as something else. Heading down to the bottom of this dashboard, we can see an events register. If I click on the three dots at the end of the register, I could export that register as a screenshot, a PDF, or the raw data as a CSV file. With these column headings, if I click on those three dots, I could group by person type, auto size all the columns, or I could select what columns I wanted in my CSV file, such as I don't want that, event status, or the status, and you'll see that the columns are shifting as I unclick and click those columns. I can also use these three dots for the visual gallery, edit that visual, and I could move my columns around for what order I wanted them in, and apply. Moving back up my dashboard, I can also shift the visuals around. Resize the visuals, over on this visual I have empty. What I'm going to do is click on that and I'm going to remove that empty. Over here my events were by status. I'll change that to events by the site name. And you'll see that wherever I have amended a visual, its blue outline means it's reading. With this visual here, events by site name, what I'll do is I'm going to edit that visual into the visual style and change that into packed bubbles. And our visual has more impact as packed bubbles. I'll change that to events by site, and this is my completed dashboard. I'll save my dashboard as Safety Event Register last quarter, and because I've changed this visual and this visual, I want to create copies for all the visuals on the dashboard. and save. Back in the library, here's my new dashboard Safety Events Register last quarter, and I'll favourite that. In the visual gallery, the visuals that I've saved have been added to the visual gallery. I can't delete those visuals because they're part of a dashboard. If I go back to the library, my Safety Events Register, delete that, that action can't be undone. I'll delete that. Back in the visual gallery, now I can delete the visuals that I have created. The last thing I want to do in this overview is go to the library and add my own dashboard. And when I add my own dashboard, I'll place an existing visual, something that I created before. Here's my packed bubbles. I'll add another visual, my safety events, and another visual, my table. From here, I'll search for my table and add that to the bottom. Remove that segment of empty, rename my dashboard, and save. And from here, I could export my dashboard as a screenshot, a PDF, or save it as a file. That is an overview of Damstra Insights from Damstra Technology. I hope you enjoy making your own dashboards and playing around with the visuals, and I look forward to seeing you again. Thank you.